I need a motion to accept this agenda.
So moved.
I have a motion from trustee Shola Barber. I need a second, please. Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Shola Barber.
Yes.
Trustee Payton. Yes. Trustee Hill. Yes. Trustee McGlynn.
Yes.
And I say yes. Secretary Hill, will you please take attendance?
All trustees are present with the exception of Trustee Johnson, and Dr. Slade is also present.
Thank you so much. Miss Coney,
Yes.
who are all of these people in our space?
We're very lucky tonight to have 3 groups of students we'll be recognizing. We will begin with our students from Winchell Elementary School. I'd like to invite their principal, Ms. Kelly Corrigan, to tell us about her students.
Good evening. My name is Kelly Corrigan. I am the proud principal at Winchell Elementary, and I am privileged tonight to be able to honor 5 of our outstanding Rockstar students. First up, we have 5th grader Alex DeWeese. Alex has shown an increase in effort, on-task behavior, and kindness compared to other years. He has consistently displayed rockstar behavior characteristics in common areas of the school, as well as at recess this year, and has not received a single behavior referral during the first quarter of this school year. Okay. Next, we have Elijah Hicks. Elijah is also a 5th grader. He has been an awesome, outstanding Rockstar student this year. He has worked hard in reading to make his goal an accelerated reader for the first marking period. He always has a positive attitude and consistently puts in his best effort. He's a good friend and a good example to his peers. Amaria comes to school every day ready to learn and works hard in all of her classes. She is a kind, supportive friend and a positive example to her peers. Her confidence in her own voice as well as her academic subjects have grown leaps and bounds this year. She is truly a Winchell rock star. Next, we have Dion Johnson. Dion has demonstrated a strong work ethic and commitment to his studies. He approaches his assignments with diligence and strives for improvement. He has shown significant progress in academics, particularly in areas where he previously faced challenges. He often takes the initiative to help his classmates, enabling others to learn alongside him in collaborative ways. And last but certainly not least, we have Leo Erickson. Leo consistently leads by example, demonstrating a strong commitment to his studies and responsibilities. By following expectations at all times, he contributes to a positive environment for his peers. His willingness to help others with their work showcases his leadership skills and kindness in all areas of the school community. And these are our Rockstar students.
Our next group of students are from Millwood Magnet School. I'd like to invite their principal, Mr. Aaron.
Good evening. I also have Coach Kaler here with me. She led our 25-26 cross-country team to one of the most successful seasons we've had in years. They truly overcame adversity. We had several students who couldn't even finish their very first race, and by the end of the year, we're setting school records and personal records, so we want to acknowledge all of their hard work tonight.
Elspeth Ryan. Claire Westerveld. Callum Cameron. Casey Duguay. Connor Cameron. Elliot Dedloff Roy. Callum Helms. Maxwell Newman. Miles Dedloff Roy. Nathan Travis. Sawyer Dedloff Roy.
I have to do 2 lines. Start with your name out. Our last group of students this evening are from Loy Norrix High School, and their principal, Mr. Aganago, will introduce us to them.
Good evening, Dr. Slade, Board of Education, Chris Aganaga, the proud principal of Loy Norrix High School. And once again, our fantastic band has won a rating of 1 superior at the MSBOA. I got it. I think I got that. Marching band competition this fall. So we're going to honor our seniors who are part of the band instead of bringing 100 kids here for you tonight. So I want to introduce our band director, Mr. Aaron Marakovitz.
Thank you, Mr. Aganaga. It's great to be here again. This is, I think, the 6th year in a row in marching season we've received a superior Division I rating, and even more during concert season. I wanted to give a quick recognition to our WMU student teacher, Mr. Carter Deemter. Our band has doubled in size in the past 4 years, and this season wouldn't have been possible without his help. So thank you, Mr. Deemter. MSBOA, the Michigan School Band and Orchestra Association, these are what we call rated festivals. It's not a competition. These students have measured up to a superior level based off of the rubrics and assessments at a very high level set forth by the association. To recognize this, members of our senior band class are here, starting with Allison Williams. Mary Ewing. Isabella Regal, Elijah Regal, and Chase Lewis.
And that concludes our recognitions this evening.
Thank you so much. Up next is committee and school reports. Academic excellence has met, and operations. Academic excellence.
Thank you. It is my pleasure to give this report. We met on November 5th and we had an extensive agenda. We looked at qualitative principal data and goal setting, and Dr. Slade gave great reports about the honest reflections and various things that were in the goal setting meetings with principals. We talked about our monitoring and getting a strategic plan for maybe our strategic plan, and then monitoring the progress we are doing on it. We were thrilled to announce that Washington, or to receive the announcement that things are going well as far as school improvement. We talked about expulsion practices. We talked about STEM middle school, the Elso design, the knock and talk outcomes, and also some discussions on clear expiration. And the next meeting will be on, I think, December 5th or somewhere in that area. Thank you.
Thank you. Operations.
Operations met on November 3rd, and a lot of our meeting had to do with the presentation that we'll have later on the audit. But operations takes a deep dive into the audit, and then we'll have a presentation tonight. And then we got a financial update from Ms. Kaiser. We had a facilities update from Ms. Jackson. We talked about Elso, which is another thing that we'll be discussing tonight, and the Chenery facilities improvement. And that was it. Thanks.
The Superintendent Evaluation and Support Committee met, and one of the things that we talked about is the timeline that we will have for the superintendent evaluation. And one of the biggest parts of the evaluation is that 20% of the superintendent evaluation is included in student growth or student learning objectives. So it's so inspiring that when we have reports to see the actual level of student growth that's taking place. We are soon to receive our informal update, and then in January, we'll have a mid-year progress report with evidence that will show how well the district is going. The Community Relations Committee, the Governance Committee are all scheduled to meet next week, and I'm sure CIS is going to have a report coming forward at the next meeting, which will be November 20th. And now, so there's no other committee or school report. Secretary Hill correspondence.
We received 2 correspondence through email, one from Mr. John McNeil with the Kalamazoo County budget updates, and I responded, and one from Miss Carmela Todd about safety concerns, and I responded to her also. Thank you.
Thank you. Our parliamentarian is not here, but I am well trained, so I know now I need a motion to accept the consent items.
So moved.
I have a motion from Vice Chair McGlynn. I need a second.
Second.
I have a second from Trustee Shola Barber. Ms. Kaiser doesn't have anything, so I'm getting it together. I need to impress her now. She's not here. So, no discussion. Roll call vote. Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Shola Barber.
Yes.
Trustee Payton. Yes. Trustee Hill. Yes. Trustee McGlynn.
Yes.
And I vote yes. So Parliamentarian Johnson, if you're watching, I hope I made you proud. Next up is reports and recommendation, the superintendent's report.
Good evening, everyone. We have a lot to share tonight, so we'll get right into it. I want to first recognize our Director of Student Services, and I'm saying Dr. Dewey. She just earned her PhD last week, so let's give her a big round of applause. She has some information she's going to share with us tonight.
Evening. It's my pleasure to talk with you this evening about several things happening in student services. We've been Knock and Talk attendance events. The next attendance event, Knock and Talk event, is Saturday, November the 15th. That will run throughout the day from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you're an interested employee of Kalamazoo Public Schools that would like to volunteer, you're welcome to contact me directly and we will get you connected with this event. Some statistics from our first Knock and Talk event on October the 16th. We found this to be a very successful event. We had 87 students that were identified from all of our schools. We specifically asked administrators to provide us names of families that would benefit from having additional conversation. About 40% of families answer the door. Some were a bit hesitant, and we left materials if they weren't available to have conversation in that moment. But we left personalized materials that gave families more information about the importance of positive attendance and how to get extra support if needed. As a result, 64% of our group showed improved attendance after that October event. So we measured the percentage of positive attendance from the start of year until the first event, and then over the course of this past month, and found that many families, many students, even ones where we didn't have a conversation but left materials, showed improvement in attendance. As a result, we also added 9 cases to our truancy officer, Jermaine Jackson's caseload for families that needed extra support and additional conversation. We will continue to hold monthly events over the course of this year. And finally, I'd like to talk with you about the Around the World Wellness event. This is at Loy Norrix High School on Saturday, November 5th. Saturday. We are very excited to host this event in partnership with their community partners. This is a warm coats giveaway. It is a clothing drive where we give away gently used clothing items. It's a toy giveaway. We'll give away food boxes and other necessities. Vaccinations, including flu shots, will be available on site without any appointment. Opportunities to connect with our partners, the Helping Hands Wellness Center, for additional physicals and other follow-up care is available. We are excited to bring this again to the Kalamazoo area. Last year, we overgrew our expectation. Some of you were present and saw our cram-packed hallways. And so we've expanded this year to Loy Norrix High School. We are hopeful to experience the area. It's a great event, and certainly some of the need for clothing and food is. So feel free to come out. We hope that you all are able. Also, all of our schools, clothing items and toys can be donated from staff or from families that we are collecting. Again, within partnership with many other community organizations that are collecting. We have hundreds of bags of gently used clothing to give out that day. Once again, this closet, like I'm going to do this weekend, there's a box here at the administration building. Questions on Knock and Talk events or the Around the World Wellness event?
Knock and Talk is so wonderful. It's just, and that consistent support is amazing. And the repetitive it's just wonderful and event, the Around the World. I tell you, it was incredible. It was amazing for the community members, the enthusiasm. You have to see this. It's amazing. It's very heartwarming. Thank you for doing that.
Absolutely.
Trustee Murphy.
First, I wanted to congratulate you. I've only been on. Congratulations. I also with walk-in, no appointment. Is that just the flu vaccine?
Flu shots, yes. Additional specific vaccinations that are needed are available by appointment.
Okay. And how would they make an appointment?
Contacting Helping Hands Wellness Center. So, of course, there'll be folks there that night that can help get them on the books. The location is directly downtown off of Rose Street. And so there are open office hours as well as contacts there.
Perfect.
Make appointments. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Vice Chair McGlynn.
So how are we getting the word out
Yes.
on this? How do people find out about the wellness?
Absolutely. Great question. We've got flyers up in all of our buildings. Hopefully you maybe saw a few as you entered this building tonight. We've got our partners and our communications team that have been working hand in hand with us again this year. We also know that while this event is open for all community members in the Kalamazoo area, there's special invitations for some of our newcomers and refugees in the area. We will be providing a halal meal. We will have multiple translators available on site, and our multilingual team that works very closely with students and families is also doing individualized outreach. This is a good portion of the families that come out, but again, open for all. So there's a combination of individualized invitation, if you would, as well as communication with our community.
Thank you.
Dr. Dewey. That's all.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Dr. Dewey. I want to recognize our school board. The last time we met, I shared that the school board presented at a national conference, and what they basically talked about during that time, they talked about some of the gains that we made last year, and we shared with other boards some of the steps that they could take to have some of the same improvement. Like 2 weeks ago, our school board went up to Traverse City, and they presented at the Michigan Association of School Boards conference. Again, they did an excellent job. The same goal to help all of the districts in the state, just giving some information on what we did to improve attendance, reading and math scores, and graduation rates last year. So I do, again, want to recognize our board. They were recognized as one of the top boards in Michigan. So I want to just give you a round of applause for all your hard work. As you know, we're in the process of having parent conferences, and our parent conferences are very important. You always need to know where your child stands. I don't care if it's elementary, middle, or high school. We encourage all of our parents to attend our conferences. We do want to just share information regarding the new Power School app that you could use your phone. You could look up again student attendance, student grades. We also have a new app where you can communicate with your child's teacher. So again, please go on our website and utilize this app. You have to know how your child is performing if you want your child to do well in school. So again, we will talk about this all year, but we're trying to have multiple ways for parents to communicate with their teacher. Please make sure you utilize the app all year. Or earlier, where we recognized some of our students who are in the band. We have one of the top arts programs in this whole region. If you look on stage, we had the secondary choir fall festival at Chenery. It was a packed house. Every seat was filled. So I just want to thank our students, our music teachers, and everybody involved in our music program for their hard work. Amazing program. We had some very talented students. Again, some of the top talent in the state. Great work. I just wanted to share some pictures from that event. Also, we're starting our KC Central students are going to start there's fall musical SpongeBob. I wanted to say SquarePants. I don't see that up there, but SpongeBob musical. It starts, actually, I think it starts tomorrow. It plays for 2 weeks. Please try to take advantage and come see our talented students. Again, it starts tomorrow, runs for 2 weeks. When you go to these plays, it's like being on Broadway. I'm not exaggerating. Very talented students. I want to thank the principal, everybody that works with our students. Both of our schools, Loy Norrix and K Central, and our middle schools, they have amazing musicals, some of the best I've seen in my career. Coming up, we want to thank all of our veterans. Recognize them. That's in a few days. Around the district and have different board meetings on different sites. So we're going to do this once or twice this year. So our first traveling board meeting will be at Edison Academy on November the 20th. We'll have a performance from the students from Edison. The principal will give a presentation on the great things happening in the building. So please come out and join us at Edison Academy on November the 20th for our first traveling board meeting. So at this time, we're going to have a financial report on our financial situation here in Kalamazoo. We have a gentleman coming up just to let you know where we stand right now with our finances.
Thank you for having me. And as was mentioned earlier by Carol, we did go through the financials in a pretty deep dive at the Operations Committee meeting today. So I'll delve into kind of a higher level look at everything, but still, get the high points out of it. So my name is John Ringline, a senior manager with Maynard Casterison, the audit firm for KPS. So I've worked well with Laura this year and her team, and an audit is no easy feat, and we were able to get this put together pretty quickly from when the audit is scheduled to now. We did have, at the federal level, some delays in our federal award compliance supplement, and so we're unable to issue that part of the report, but that's really all schools and all governmental education are running into that. We are able to provide a final copy of the financial statement audit, and that can be put on the state or on the district website. And then once that compliance supplement has been finally issued, whenever that date may be, we have 30 days to submit that side. So we should be well on pace with that as well. So did want to dig into the audit results if you're looking on the screen. So that financial statement audit had an unmodified opinion. So that's the highest opinion that we can provide. That really just means that the numbers that were provided to us needed very little additional help to get them to the numbers that are. Great job by Laura and the team for making. We did have one change in accounting principle that came through this year. We had talked about it last year as an upcoming principle, but that's GASB 101. All that did was change the way in which compensated absences are calculated. and that ended up increasing that compensated absences balance by about 11.7. We saw that roughly across all districts. It went from a 50% increase up to about 4x for most districts. We do not do test of controls except for that federal award audit we talked about, but we do gain an understanding of controls of the district. If there was anything we identified that would be an internal control deficiency, we would be presenting that as well in our report. And we're happy to say that we had no material weaknesses or deficiencies that were identified. Great news as well. So that just, any checks and balances are really being taken care of. With that compliance for major programs report, we cannot issue it. However, we did do the work, and we do have an unmodified opinion expected for that once it's out of draft form. The major programs that were tested were Title I and the 21st Century Community Learning Centers, and no findings associated with testing either of those two awards either. Then with the audit is issued a governance letter, which is kind of like a final engagement letter to the board. Additional above and beyond those internal control findings or anything like that. Put that in that report. So happy to report that's a standard letter. So no issues there. So again, great job to Laura and her team. Next few slides, we'll kind of breeze through these for the most part. So you have your general fund, debt service fund, the two ongoing capital project funds, and then your non-major fund. What to look at here is that fund balance in the general fund is about $42.7 million. And then on your 2018 and 2022 capital project funds, you have about $7.5 million and $37.1 million to spend on those. And total fund balance of all governmental funds is $104 million. More importantly is to see what happened during the year to get to those balances. So on the general fund, so we have those same funds we talked about. We had revenues about $212.8 million compared to about $211.2, which had an increase of revenues less expenditures of $1,673,004. A transfer in from the food service fund of just over $500,000 ended up increasing the fund balance in the general fund by $2.2 million. So that brought us from a fund balance of $40.5 million to a fund balance of that $42.7 we saw on the previous slide. And so what does that mean? When you compare the fund balance as a percentage of the total expenditures for the year, last year you had a fund balance percentage of 18.7%, and this year that increased to 20.22. How does that compare to districts around the state? The state average last year, which is the only data that they have on hand, we'll have the 24-25 data once all these are issued, was about 24.7%. And really that's more or less in a great spot at that 20.22% mark, and we'll kind of see on the last slide what that means. But the recommendation is 15 to 20%, so you're right above. And again, as we noted, that $7.5 million and $37.1 on the capital projects, that's what's remaining to spend. What was spent this year is in that second line, about $4.8 million on the 2018 capital projects and about 16.8. So all the construction going on around the district that voted upon bonds were to be used for. That's what was spent during this year. Next slide is our budgetary comparison schedule. So this is always a nice one to look at, especially with Laura and her team and how tight the budgeting is taken care of here at the district. So the bottom line, that double underline, effectively the original budget more or less called for an increase of about $29,000, so more or less break even. The final budget came in having the district increase the fund balance by $1.7 million. And as we talked about on the previous slide, that actually ended up being $2.2 million. We had a positive variance of about $500,000 going to the bottom line for the district, which is less than 0.25% of total budgeted expenditures. So very, very good job by Laura's team and making sure that we're following the budget and pretty much getting what we actually said to what was supposed to be spent and received for the year. So great job there as well. And the next couple slides are really just a breakdown of the revenue and where it comes from in the general fund. And this really is just showing that a majority of the funding comes from the state of Michigan. There was no increase in the per pupil allowance from FY24 to FY25. However, looking into FY26, there will be an increase that has been budgeted, but that came after the original budget for the year was to be submitted, and that was due to this delays at the state of Michigan level. But really, this just shows about 2/3 comes from the state. Next slide is going to show how that trend has been broken down over the last 3 years. And really the big takeaway here is that federal funding in FY24 was more or less ESSER 3 being fully spent, because that had to be spent through on 9/30 of 24. And so the ESSER funding in 23 was a little bit larger, or that was ESSER 2 funding. And then ESSER 3 was an even larger bucket in 24. And then now in 2025, you're more or less looking at the similar funding in federal that you had in the past. So we should see this bar going forward be relatively consistent. Next slide is going to be our expenditures in the general fund. So this is more or less just a breakdown of that instruction versus support. So most districts fall in that 50 to 60% range on instruction expenses. So dollars going back into the classroom directly, and the district is falling at 53%. So right in line with that. Next slide is the breakdown, similar of that previous slide, just over the last 3 years. Pretty consistent really on that percentage of instruction. The one difference is in 2024, some of that ESSER spending that we saw on the 2 slides ago was more utilized for capital outlay in the general fund. The next slide we're going to talk about is our fund balance in the general fund 3-year trend. So we can see we were at just over 37 million of fund balance in 2020. Fund balance 24 we talked about on the first slide was 18.7%, and now we're just under 43 million in fund balance and at 20.22%. So increasing over time, which has been great, considering the COVID one-time funding, utilizing that to build the fund balance, to really prepare ourselves for uncertainty in the future and for that funding to end. So that's great job again by the district, making the right decision there. The last slide is our additional highlights for the year. A pretty exciting one is that first bullet point. So that ASBO award for June 30, 2024, which is last year's financials, the district received an award for financial excellence, essentially. So what that means is that it goes through a rigorous multi-point inspection, if you will, to make sure that you are meeting all of the expectations of an ACFR. And 1 in 17 districts in the state of Michigan received this. I don't know the final numbers for 2024, but it's been about that. So it's less than 20, and your district is one of them. So that just means that, KPS truly cares about financial excellence, financial reporting, and making sure that you're very transparent. Next bullet is that 20.22% we had mentioned, being just above that MSBO recommendation of 15 to 20%. And really what this means is, you're setting yourself up to have better credit ratings when you go to get new debt. You don't have to do the short-term cash borrowing that we see a lot of districts do with state aid notes. And you also have some reserves on hand for, some uncertainty that could come up. And then we did mention the state of Michigan is budgeting $10,050 per pupil for FY26, which just came through in October in the final budget from the state, which is a 4.6% increase over 24-25. And then 2 upcoming pronouncements, similar to what we had with that GASB 101 for this year. We have more coming, and that's GASB 103 and GASB 104. 103 is going to have more of the bulk of a change in the report itself. So there's going to be some additional variance analysis in the budget actual, and then some changes to your MD&A. And we'll work with Laura and the team to know what that really looks like. And then GASB 104 largely is going to be, it's coming, but should have very little impact on the district. And then last slide is just me thanking you for, again, having us as your auditor. And it's been a great relationship so far. So thank you again for having me. And thank you to Laura and the team for their hard work during the audit. Any questions?
Are there questions from the board? Trustee Shola Barber.
I got to cheer. I got to cheer. I love this statement. KPS cares about financial excellence. I think that in the tradition, I've sat in this seat for a long time. We've never had a not modified, or is that what am I saying that? An unmodified opinion, right? I mean, it has been a pleasure, and hats off to Laura and the people who came before, as well as who she's managing. It's been a part of our student achievement. If we are stable, if things are going very, very, very solidly, then the rest of the machine goes very, very well. So hats off for continuing the tradition and setting new standards and your awards. My
Vice Chair McGlynn.
I just want to thank everyone too for all the hard work and for your presentation, not only today but at our finance meeting, and just to say one of the things too with having a balance as we do when the state did not pass their budget. And a lot of districts were scrambling on what are we going to do. We were in a position that we would have been okay. Now, not for a long time, because it doesn't last. But it is nice to know that we do have that cushion, and I think it's being responsible, but also just the award, what an amazing thing. I think, when you're saying 17 districts in out of Trustee Murphy had the number of districts in the state,
Nearly 900.
yeah. So to know that we do this work, and that takes a lot of energy, but it's important to Ms. Kaiser and the whole financial team to do that, and it makes us transparent, and knowing that we're really doing the things the right way is such an important thing. So I thank you for the extra work that I'm sure that that causes you, but I also know that you're proud of that work, and we really appreciate that too.
Trustee Murphy.
I wanted to thank you. One of the things that I wanted to do when I joined the board was to make
What a legacy to leave, to be known as being not just responsible, but the standard when it comes to financial excellence. So I appreciate you, and I always tell you that, but what a legacy to leave. So I just wanted to say that congratulations on the award, and thank you so much for your diligence. Thank you so much for being a good steward of our funds.
Thank you.
At this time, Dr. Dyson, our Assistant Superintendent for Elementary Schools, will come up and share some information about the new Elso Elementary School.
Thank you so much, Dr. Slade. Good evening. This evening, we wanted to share some information about the progress of construction in constructing the new Elso building on Baker Street and the recommendation to expand the school to 8th grade over a 3-year period after the school opens. I'll begin by sharing some of the benefits of a pre-K through 8th grade program. As you know, Elso is a Spanish immersion program that currently serves students from kindergarten through 5th grade at their building on Vine Street. With the approval to building the new school at Baker Street, it provided an opportunity to consider the expansion of the immersion program to more grade levels. Dr. Natalie Wilson, the building principal, has long supported this idea and is with us this evening to show her enthusiastic support of the program expansion. One benefit is to assist the students transition to middle school by supporting their academic, socio-emotional, and behavior needs starting in pre-K while maintaining positive, caring, and nurturing relationships with past teachers and administration. On this slide, you'll see One benefit is to assist with students' transition to middle school by supporting their academic, emotional, and behavior needs starting in pre-K while maintaining positive and caring relationships with past teachers and administration. This also by allowing students to continue a designated immersion track through 8th grade, they would be candidates for high school dual enrollment and can graduate with a minor in Spanish by 12th grade. Students who graduate with proficiency in English and Spanish would receive the Michigan Seal. This grade expansion will be implemented over a 3-year period. We begin with adding 6th graders for the 2029-30 school year, 7th graders in 2030-31, and 8th graders in 2031-32. On this slide, you'll see the architect's preliminary rendering of the site. A larger building would need to be constructed to accommodate the expansion to 8th grade. On the left, off the Baker Street, you can see the bus loop at the bottom and the visitor and staff parking lot. There's an additional parking lot off of Craft Avenue. In case you were not aware, the word Elso means the sun in Spanish. The sun has been used as the symbol of the school and is represented in the building design with the 3 rays or wings off the main part of the building. Between the rays, there will be outdoor learning spaces at the back side of the property, and you'll see a designation for green play spaces with the track surrounding it and 2 playgrounds, one for lower elementary grades and one for upper elementary grades. This is another architect's preliminary rendering of the overall site. To accommodate grades pre-K-8, a slightly larger building would be required. This would include, but is not limited to, additional classrooms, a larger gym, media center, and cafeteria. A team consisting of Elso and district staff, along with board members, the district architect and construction manager have been working over the past several months to design the building. The building is estimated to be approximately 83,000 square feet and will cost approximately $54.4 million, encompassing the building and furnishings. These amounts will be modified for any final design changes and revised cost. The building is expected to be operational for the 2028-29 school year. We're very pleased to share this design concept with you tonight as you consider the expansion of the program to additional grades. We also wanted to share a new way we're celebrating Elso students. This certificate was presented to kindergarten families at their recent conferences. It is a kindergarten pathway to biliteracy certificate. The purpose of the certificate is to celebrate the beginning of the student's journey to being bilingual and biliterate in English and grade, when students would receive the Michigan Seal of Biliteracy on their diploma. This is a nationally recognized certification of proficiency in 2 languages. Another exciting development at Elso has been their recent academic restructuring to include a full Spanish reading block in kindergarten, 1st, and 2nd grades. Teachers, tutors, and parapros have received targeted professional development in dual language practices, best practices, to support language and content instruction in English and Spanish. Parents have opportunities to participate in workshops and informational sessions to learn about the immersion program and strategies. And finally, Elso's report card was updated to include Spanish literacy skills covered in grades K-5. Middle school programming is currently under development and will include an immersion track through 8th grade. Karen Jackson and I are all available to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much for that presentation. Are there questions from the board? Vice Chair McGlynn.
Not sure if it's a question, but a little bit just about like what we heard when we were talking with the community about the move from Vine to this new location. And we heard it over and over again from parents how important they felt that adding a middle school to the school was so important. And for that consistency,
tried to create programs so that kids can flow into the regular middle school, but that's always been a concern. We've heard about that over the years as a concern. So I know I'm really excited to see this proposal going forward with going to K-8. I think it's important for parents to understand that this is going to be a gradual thing. It's going to be year by year. So, it's not going to jump right into a K-8 building, but every year the class will move up. But I do think that especially because the cost wasn't significant between the buildings. We know that costs are expensive no matter what right now. I mean, they've gone up tremendously, but that doesn't make, we're going to have that cost no matter what we do. But to see that was really good for me too. So I am totally supportive of the idea of a K-8 building. Trustee Philibert. I don't know about questions, but I'm going to praise. I had wonderful experience of being on the design team and listening and hearing. And first of all, Dr. Wilson, your passion for this program and your wonderful questions and your enthusiasm and your ability to weigh options or to encourage or to include the reality of what it's like in your building every day was really enlightening for the whole group, as well as your getting excited about colors or designs or whatever. You are a wonderful cheerleader. Obviously, you believe in the program in your school so much. And to Ms. Jackson, you were incredible also, or you are incredible, excuse me, because you are very real, but yet not stifling any ideas, like that you would encourage, or we got to look at, or I don't know, or whatever. And so, again, Karen Jackson, you did a great job on this committee. Who his senior in high school took Spanish 1. Then he went to Michigan. He fell in love with Spanish. Went to Michigan at the Spanish table at East Quad, language immersion. Amazing. And to this day, he's a bilingual psychologist. So here we go. Your reading block, your immersion, you're making it real. You're the agility of going from everyday activities into literacy things or whatever. It is excuse me, I have a cold. Invaluable. And again, it is another. I get that the language pathway, but this is also a career pathway. We know our world is getting more and more bilingual. So to have these children emerge with this seal on their diploma, it can lead to amazing things. So there's about 15 routes here that I am so enthused. Again, and I'll end it with, yes, K-8. And it will alleviate what Trustee McGlynn had said, that dip or that gap or that sure way into our high school and Western programs. Thank you.
So again, the hardest part about going, you changed her mind. All this traffic directing, I'm doing it, and she changed her mind. Now she wants to speak. Yes, please do. Right, yeah. All right. Trustee Hill.
I would like to say more good things. I'm very excited about it. So first off, this is great for the East Side neighborhood because I remember going by that property and it's absolutely beautiful. And I know the neighbors around that area are excited about it. And then parents have asked for this. Back when my kids were in sixth, seventh, and eighth grade, parents had been at Lincoln at the Spanish immersion and they were hoping there would segue into an eighth grade program, but it wasn't as strong as we had hoped it could be. But I know a lot of those students, and they did go on and take languages in college. And there's a chance to increase some enrollment, right? With a bigger building, a little bit of enrollment. 3 people, okay, 4. All right. And then, and so it just meets the needs of the community. It shows that we're a community that is embracing other cultures and other languages and promoting. I think it's wonderful. Thank you.
Trustee Murphy.
Thank you, President Harrison. Just 2 very brief questions. The first one, Ms. Jackson, you had mentioned that it's only a small amount more to build the pre-K through 8 versus the K through 5. Or was that Mrs. Kaiser?
Oh, yeah. It's approximately 4.6 million more to construct the pre-K 8 as compared to pre-K 5.
And so we get 3 additional grades with the pathway to biliteracy for $4.5 million. That sounds like an efficient use of our dollars. And then I should have written it down. This is expected to open 28-29 and then start expanding with just 6th grade in 29-30, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, that was it. Thank you.
Now, everything I wanted to say, all of my trustees have said, so that's what we'll say about that. Dr. Wilson, I wanted to say that I appreciate the heart and passion that you put into the developments of Elso. Like Trustee Scholler-Barber, being able to sit and watch the passion that you poured into every single detail of this building, it was very inspiring knowing that the children that are in your care are going to be able to benefit from every detail, every down to the rock, right? So just thank you so much for the passion that you have for the program. I look forward to all of the success that we have and all of the children being able to have career pathways as a result of participation in the program. And while Ms. Kaiser is responsible for the financial responsibility of this district, it is very, 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 I don't want to say entertaining, but it is very entertaining to watch Miss Jackson in action. It is very, very, very entertaining to watch her as a skilled tradeswoman in meetings where she is able to profess the wealth of knowledge that she is. And so as a person that is always advocating for skilled trades, it's just so beautiful to watch you in your element as we design and be good stewards of these dollars. So even though the price tag is the price tag, the price is the price, just knowing that your diligence when it comes to those dollars is very inspiring. So on that note,
and before we vote, President Harris, I don't want to end this without recognizing the hard work and dedicated staff from Elso. You may not see it on screen, but we have like 15 members of the staff here today, and they come to everything related to Elso. I mean, every single meeting we have, you have this many staff members or more. I'm talking about we had at least 10 meetings on this. You always see the staff. We had a Taste of Elso event, I think last week or the week before. I mean, every time we do it, it's one of the most attended events we do in the district. So again, I just want to recognize the hardworking, dedicated, passionate staff, and you can't fake that. Anybody in education knows you can't fake that passion. So again, I just want to thank the staff members for coming out here tonight to support this effort. Again, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, thank you. So now I need a motion to approve the construction of Elso Elementary as a pre-K through 8 building.
I enthusiastically move that we approve the construction of the Elso Elementary as a pre-K 8 building.
I have a motion from trustee Shola Barber. I need a second.
Second.
I have a second from trustee Hill. Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Shola Barber.
Yes.
Trustee Payton. Trustee Hill.
Yes.
Trustee McGlynn.
Yes.
And I say yes. And with that being said, the board approves the construction of Elso Elementary as a pre-K through 8 building. At this time, we will have persons requesting to address the board. Well, you know, I take this role of governance really serious, Dr. Wilson, but I will give you a few minutes as long as you make sure that you. Now, legal counsel is here and everything, so if I get wrote up, it's going to be your responsibility. Just make. No, I'm just joking.
All right, thank you so much. Echoing Dr. Slade's thank you to the staff. I just want to mention that some of our staff arrived late this evening because they're taking classes. I have at least, I think, 5 people completing a bachelor's degree, at least 3 completing a master's, and 1 who's working on her doctorate. So not only are they dedicated to our program, but they're growing themselves and giving back to the school. And I'm recruiting people to staff the middle school. and so I wanted to mention that because it's not just me. All of this is a collective passion and dedication that we demonstrate daily. So myself included, so that demonstrates we believe in the program. We put our own children in it. And, you know, as a KPS graduate myself, this has been such an opportunity to give back to the community. And I'm just so excited to take this to the next level and make it a reality. So I just want to say thank you. Thanks.
Absolutely. I'm full of it tonight. Miss Sherry Weber.
Hi, so I have 2 graduates from Kalamazoo Central, and I am here to remind you of something that I talked about a few meetings ago. There is a ballot initiative called Invest in My Kids that is it's nonpartisan, intended to go on the ballot in November of 2026. It is taxing people that make an individual over $500,000 or a couple over $1 million a year, an additional 5% surcharge at the state level for the state of Michigan would all go to the public schools. One of the things that the organizers are asking, and so that's what I'm here to ask of all of you, as you were elected nonpartisan as nonpartisan candidates, this is a nonpartisan ballot proposal, and I am asking you to publicly provide support and endorsement for it. I will stay and listen to comments to see if I get that immediately, and I will also send you an email so that you can endorse it in that way. Thank you.
Thank you. Glenn Deutsch.
Live at 209 West Westwood Drive. Our son takes a class at the Career Connect campus. His teacher is excellent. The facility itself is astonishing. And my family is also very happy overall with his teachers and the climate at KC. However, I'd like to call your attention to a major coordination problem involving the Career and Technical Education program and scheduling at KC. In context, let me note, and I think we all know, that the junior year is an important year, maybe the most important year for college applications for students who are college bound. Here we're talking a design class since 8th grade. My student has also been determined to take multiple advanced placement classes at KC. Now, here's where this inaugural year of CTE KPS scheduling has failed my student and others. My student has 43 excused tardies in AP statistics and 0 otherwise. 0 tardies otherwise. How can that be? His bus leaves for CTE from KC at about 7:10 a.m. and arrives about 25 minutes before class starts at 8. That works. Crossing the city again, he returns to KC in the middle of 4th hour. That doesn't work. He misses about 20 minutes a day of AP stats. In fact, of 32 students, only about 10 get the full 50 minutes. Morning CTE kids arrive late, and the afternoon group leaves early. Again, this is an AP class. You may ask, why aren't they taking a seminar, 4th period? The answer is that the travel time is the seminar, and at KC, only 1 seminar was allowed. You may ask, why didn't my son and the others take a quote-unquote easy 4th period class? But any class that period would result in missed minutes for CTE students, potential ramifications for their GPA. 4th hour is the only time AP Stats is offered at KC. My student and presumably others felt they should take it junior year with an eye toward college applications. Yesterday, we were told my son can replace AP Stats with a second seminar, but he wants to stay in AP Stats. This is not a complaint about the guidance counselors. This is my questioning the planning at Howard Street. I have taught in trimester and semester programs at the college level. I know it's a big challenge to modify curriculum. But let's admit that when going from 5 classes a day at 70 minutes to 7 at 50 minutes, in conjunction with CTE, Howard Street dropped the ball. That is not...
Your time is up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Finally, most important going forward, how will this administration rectify this problem before the second semester?
Thank you. Seeing no other people requesting to address the board and no other business, comments by trustees. Trustee Hill.
So I heard that there was a new nonpartisan issue out there that they wanted that would be on the ballot in 2026, and it sounds very interesting. And those are things that I would want to read and know very well before I made any comments on them. But I'm always interested in things that will benefit kids. So thank you.
Trustee Shola Barber.
I'm going to try to do this quick because I don't know how much voice. I echo what Trustee Hill had said. Research is really important, and that will be done. If it can positively affect children, we will be doing that research. Thank you so much. Shout out to the Millwood Cross group. I want to really, Coach Kaler, cross country, especially at the middle school level. I loved that they gave the stat that they couldn't finish the race in the beginning, and by the end, I was asking them their personal times. And cross is a great sport for individuals to compete against themselves, to be that self-fulfillment, that training and whatever. So shout out to Millwood Cross. I have going on with the sport. Proponent of education takes place in many aspects of KPS and certainly in our sports programs. From Kalamazoo Central, boys cross country were SMAC champions for the 3rd year in a row. Go Cross. Regional champs 4 years in a row, 3rd place in the state. Yay night. Football won the SMAC East Conference Championship for the 2nd year in a row and made playoffs for the 2nd year in a row. Kalamazoo Central. Loy Norrix. Boys cross country were SMAC champions for the 3rd year in a row. Regional champs 4 years in a row. Placed 3rd in the state. Okay, wait a minute. That's a repeat. This is wrong. I'll go back to my phone. Loy Norrix, erase that. We'll start Loy Norrix again. Loy Norrix women's swim completed an undefeated season and has won 60 dual meets in a row. 60 dual meets. Way to go, swimmers. They will compete for their sixth straight SMAC championship next weekend. Seniors, Talia Hanks, she's committed to USC in volleyball, and Maddie Chappa, she's committed to soccer at Indiana University, Indianapolis, will sign their NCAA national letters of intent on Wednesday. Swim and dive are this weekend. Swim and dive are this weekend, not next weekend. All right, so moving on. Thank you so much for the audit, Laura. Miss Kaiser. Thank you so much for it. You've got the tradition, but as President Harrison said, the legacy, you're continuing the legacy on, and that's wonderful. And it is such an important part of, I love that someone said people love to get their paychecks, but we love to have our boilers working. We love to have the heat on. We love to have the snow plowed. So thank you so much for making sure that the funds for those things are available. I really, I really want to say that we're supposed to get some snow this weekend, so please, let's start thinking about children. Let's start thinking about, first snow is so exciting. The last snow, not so much. The first one, especially for little kids. So please be very, very careful with the weather this coming season. And the last thing, I really have to say a shout out to boards that came before. The language immersion program was really it bubbled up from grassroots. It bubbled up from some parents, and it bubbled up from a use for the Vine. And that was a long time ago. And it is so encouraging to see that what Dr. Wilson has done with the help of Dr. Slade to keep this going as a vital part. And now I'm hoping that some of those people whose children have long since graduated will see or come to the open house when Elso is open, that it really is about people caring. It really is about getting involved in civic activities. So thank you so much. And I'm so happy for your whole staff and everybody on the design team and what's coming forward. So congratulations. Thank you so much.
Trustee Murphy.
Thank you. Excuse me. I wanted to congratulate all of our student recognitions from Winchell, Millwood Magnet, and Loy Norrix. Marching band is the coolest, and you can't convince me otherwise. Dr. Dewey, congratulations again. And then Dr. Wilson, congratulations for having so many teachers who want to continue getting better. I recently went back to school myself, and it is hard. I am so excited for you. And good job. Like, genuinely, I'm only taking 2 classes. I am exhausted. So, when do you sleep? All right. So, yes, I wanted to, as an education system, we should encourage education in everybody, and that includes our support staff and teachers. So thank you guys for doing that to support our children. Fall Fest, always super cool because you get a sneak peek of what our high schools are doing. As was mentioned, SpongeBob does start tomorrow. Tickets are available online. You can actually Google Kalamazoo Central SpongeBob, and it will take you directly to the site. And also the Shrek musical will be at Loy Norrix in December. I definitely think that you should see Dragon and Donkey, but that's just me. Congratulations also, Miss Kaiser, for you're really cool, and you're smart, and you love your job, and you're really good at it, and everybody benefits, so thank you very much. And I hope everyone has a great weekend.
So earlier I was scribbling on my little notepad, and Vice Chair McGlynn said, "Are you going to be talking tonight?" And I said, "I sure am." In addition to congratulations to Dr. Wilson and her team, and thank you to Mrs. Kaiser and her team. The board presented a few weeks ago, since the last time that we've been before the community, wanted to thank the community for the opportunity to go and tell other people about the good work that we're doing in Kalamazoo. And while we were there, I knew what was going to happen, but I wanted to let them tell me what was going to happen. But one of our newest board members became a certified board member. And it is one of our board members that's been on the board for a year. She was elected a year ago in the next couple of days. And so I just wanted to publicly congratulate her. I wanted to let the community know what a certified board member was, because when she got on the board, she asked me, what is it that I needed her to do? And I told her that I needed her to for doing the extra work to become a certified board member. So a certified board member from MASB refers to someone who has completed a formal training and certification program offered by the Michigan Association of School Boards. The Certified Board Member Award is the first level of recognition in MASB Leadership Development and Certification Program. It signifies that a school board member has completed a series of foundational courses that cover essential aspects of school governance. To become a certified board member, participants must complete different courses, including topics such as governance and leadership, school finance, school law, advocacy and policy, community relations, curriculum and instruction, labor relations. Each course is designed to strengthen a board member's ability to make informed, ethical, and effective decisions for the district. After earning the certified board member designation, board members can continue to achieve workshops and leadership activities. Additionally, there are specialty awards which you can pursue after or in conjunction with level 1, and that would allow you to become advocacy certified. There's a certification in community relations, data skill specialties, finance certification, and leadership certification. So I just wanted to go on record saying that as a board, I understand, as a trustee, I understand the importance of the professional development that you have access to. It really helps when you are trying to figure out what it is that you're supposed to be doing a lot of times. And that was one of the things that when people came up to us after our presentation, it was such a sense of gratitude, because you don't really know what it is that you have been charged to do until you get into it. And so I wanted to publicly thank Trustee Payton for the effort that she put into becoming a certified board member, because we are a board that wants to be able to say that we understand what it is that we are doing. So that is my public comment. I wanted to gently remind this community, and I'm hoping that as we come into communities that we will be welcomed, and that everyone in the Edison neighborhood will be at our next board meeting. So if the Edison Neighborhood Association is watching, if you could get the word out to the residents to meet us at Edison on Thursday, November 20th at 7 p.m. We will definitely be there as we continue to go into the communities that we serve. So with that, Superintendent, do you have anything to say?
I want to thank the entire district staff for an amazing month of October as we end the first week of November. Again, if you do this work, you know how rewarding it is, but also how challenging it is. So we had a great month of October. So I want to thank the teachers, all staff members, senior leadership, our students. We want to keep that ball momentum rolling. So again, thank you for a great month of October. I also want to just quickly, since I see these folks here, we talked about negotiations last board meeting, but I do want to thank Miss Reed, who was our teacher union president, for the work she's done with negotiations, and also another gentleman who does a whole lot for the district behind the scenes. I want to thank Mr. Marshall Great, our district attorney, for the great work he does for the district. Thank you.
Almost thought that we were out of here, but I move that the board convene in closed session for the following reason. Pursuant to Section 8H of the Open Meetings Act, Michigan Code Law 15.268, Section 8, the board can meet in closed session to consider material exempt from open discussion or disclosure by state or federal statute. Under Michigan Code Law 15.243, Section L and Section G, information or records subject to attorney-client privilege are confidential and exempt from public disclosure. Accordingly, I move that the board convene in closed session to review a written legal opinion of counsel Clark Hill, which written legal opinion is exempt from disclosure as privileged and confidential documents pursuant to the attorney-client privilege.
So move. Or second.
I have a second from Trustee Shola Barber. Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Shola Barber.
Yes.
Trustee Payton. Yes. Trustee Hill. Yes. Trustee McGlynn.
Yes.
And I say yes. We may or may not come back onto the board floor. We are not taking any action tonight, so I just wanted to let everyone know that we are not taking any action and you are free to go. I do not want to hold you here and have you here longer than necessary, so please be safe going home.